Well, since it is being recorded, I guess we can go ahead and get started. But hello, everybody out there. It's good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We have people joining from all over. But my name's Brooke D. Arman, and I'm the Associate Director of International Student Services at Southeast Missouri State University. So I oversee international programming and orientations. And so a big part of my job is helping new students get here and get acclimated and learn all about the campus and the university. And so yeah, in most of you are probably joining us in August, I would assume, some in spring of next year. But yeah, we've got this lovely series here of these little short videos and presentations that we're doing. But today's let me introduce also Kendra Skinner. Kendra, you want to tell them about you a little bit?
Good day, everyone. My name is Kendra Skinner, and I am the Director of Residence Life here. So my office manages all of the on-campus living options. So students living in the residence halls, in our dorms, on campus, and staffing, and all of that. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about that experience here on our campus.
All right. So, but the reason I'm joining you today is to speak more about off-campus housing. So I'm going to jump right into that just a little bit. To be very blunt and to be very honest, because of liability and legal issues, there is not a lot we can tell you about off-campus housing. I can't tell you I recommend this place over this place. I can't tell you call this landlord, call this number. There's just some issues with that. So we can't do that. But we do have a few resources that I want to just show you here. So this page that I'm on right now, eventually you're going to start getting emails from me in about late March. We are still updating our online orientation for August and January. In fact, it will look completely different from what is on this screen, but we will still have a section on here and that is, living on campus and all of those resources here, and then living off campus. And so if I just click on this in this module, and by the way, when you do get to the on campus or the online orientation, you'll see different things. And we always say these are the modules, but on this page, and I just had to click over here to get to this, but we'll give you better instructions than that whenever you do actually get access to this orientation. But here on this page, if I can get it open, we've kind of got links to various things that people use. And so you can see I've got different links here for apartments in Cape Girardeau, going to our Cape Chamber page, links to various rental houses and how you can find those and who to contact, and then just the different real estate agencies in town. And they also help with rental and leasing for off-campus housing. And then there's just some general links to various websites that are nationwide, but Cape Girardeau is included in those, being like apartments.com, apartmentguide.com, or rent.com. Big one for Cape Girardeau is Rent SEMO. That is not affiliated with the university. Everything in Southeast Missouri is called SEMO. And so that's just something you'll see in here a lot, but Rent SEMO is a big one. And then we've got down here just a few, like these are more of our larger complexes down here, apartment complexes that are very, very close to campus within walking distance. And they kind of cater more to college students at those apartments. And yeah, and a lot of those are some, and two of them are fully furnished. So they have furniture and different items for you to have there. And then another thing though with off-campus housing is there's a number of ways to get furniture. If you do live in a non-furnished apartment, there's just various ways to go about getting furniture. But one of those being There's a place called Teen Challenge and another place called Safe House Thrift Store. A lot of those places they take in a lot of furniture from our outgoing college students who are leaving and don't know what to do with their furniture, so they take it from them, so our new students can go and get it. But just various resources like that. Walmart sells some furniture. There's just a lot of places in town that they sell mattresses and things like that. Um, but the other huge resource for any of our new students is the various Facebook groups. Either we'll have pretty soon we'll be launching our fall 2026 new students Facebook page, and we don't have that yet, our Facebook group, and students can connect with each other on there. But our biggest ones being our different cultural groups have Facebook pages, and that way students can connect with current students. So say like the Nepali Student Association, the Indian Student Association, Zimbabwe Student Association, the African Student Association, several of them. And once we get the online orientation sent, you'll see links to all of those. But that way you can connect with various students who are already here, and they can kind of tell you about what they have available, and they're looking for roommates and their off-campus housing. But again, with off-campus housing, you've got to be 21 or older unless you meet one of the exemptions that I'm assuming Kendra is probably going to talk about here in a little bit. But the other thing, when you are about to sign a lease or a rental agreement with one of these apartment complexes or with a rental house or whatever, make sure you read everything on that lease. Read the fine print, know what you are legally binding yourself into with those agreements. Okay, like don't ignore the small letters. So lots of important things. We don't want you to get into any kind of legal trouble or anything like that because of something you may have ignored on that lease. So but that's all I have really about off-campus housing, and I'm going to turn it over to Kendra.
Okay. Let me see if I can make sure and share my screen here. You might need to give me access, Brooke. You're muted.
Can you try it now? I had to.
Um,
Can you try it now on sharing? There's still no. Let's see. There we go.
I think I got it.
Yep.
All right. Does that look okay on your screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Make sure that okay. Sorry about that. Well, little slow this morning, so here for me. So, all right, as Brooke said, we're going to go ahead and talk just a little bit about living on campus now. So she discussed options for off-campus living, but I want to talk a little bit about on-campus living. I always like to start off with the requirement first. So here at Southeast, we do have a 2-year residency requirement for students to live on campus. And that applies to anyone who is basically under 21 or isn't married or, isn't bringing dependent children along with them. So if you are above 21 or you're married and bringing your spouse with you, you are bringing, children with you, then obviously you would be eligible to live off campus and kind of work with the off campus housing options. But otherwise, most of you, and typically what we see is, those students who are 21 living with us, or students who aren't married. So just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that, that there is kind of that 2-year living on campus during those first 2 academic years that you're here at Southeast. So, and basically, as you get accepted and then have access into those portals that Brooke was sharing, you'll have access then to the housing contract to complete that. And you can complete that online there through our housing portal. That is a link through the SEMO portal, the My SEMO portal. And then there's a $150 deposit unless there are some waiver options available for you. And then just to know that our contracts are legal binding agreements for an academic year. So basically a fall and spring semester. And we do include break periods in those contracts. So times where there are no classes, and things, and there's reduced services on campus. So maybe there's no dining on campus, or our hall desks are closed. You have an opportunity to stay on campus with us. So we don't require you to move off campus to another location or out of your room. So you're welcome to stay in your assignment in the building that you're living in during those break periods, which would be like a fall break, Thanksgiving break, winter break, spring break. So all of that is factored into your housing contracts. And so you're able to stay on campus for no additional cost during that time. So really, once you move in, you're eligible to stay in that space basically throughout the rest of the semester. So if you're joining us in fall, then that would be fall and spring semester. If you're joining us in spring, then that would be just the spring semester. We do also offer housing in the summer. So if you are thinking you might come a little early, or once you get to Southeast and you want to stay here, you do have an option to stay on campus during the summer months. It's a separate contract as well. So just an option for you, just to consider. So obviously, as we start thinking about, kind of living on campus, what does that look like? And I always want to highlight who is available to you and what you get as a part of living on campus that you don't get when you live off campus. So I know that sometimes the allure of living off campus or the potential difference in cost and that you might have for living off campus versus on campus, is always a strong pull for people. But there are a lot of things that you miss out on by living off campus. And the biggest thing is access to my staff and everyone that you have available to support you while you're here at Southeast. So the people you see in this picture, we represent the Office of Residence Life. So the people in the red are our resident assistants, and they are students that live on the floors in all of our buildings with you. And they are sophomores and above who are going through a selection process right now and are really like your contact, like your direct contact and resource to all things SEMO. So if you can't remember where a building is, or you have some questions about a course, or you know that there was somebody maybe on campus who could help provide you with some tutoring or some writing assistance, but you can't remember where that is. Your RA is the best person to get connected with because they know all the resources on campus and can tell you kind of who to get connected with, who's there to support you. And then they also do a lot of community building and programming on their floors. So they're trying to do things to get you out of your rooms so that you begin to meet other people and get connected to the building and then the larger campus. So you're living on campus. The SEMO campus is your home, and we want you to feel safe and comfortable here. And so these staff members provide kind of those opportunities to get connected with people, but then they also are the ones that help us to ensure that our buildings are safe and secure for you throughout the day and the evening. So they perform duty rounds and lock the buildings to make sure that that our doors are locked that are supposed to be locked and closed, and that you can sleep or study at times of the day, and throughout the night that when you need to do those things. So they really are kind of those people who really are good people to connect with because they're there to support you, but also there to kind of encourage you to step out of your room and to try new things. So they're also the ones that are going to help you, as you're navigating living with a roommate, somebody that you may or may not know, and the challenges that come with all of that. They're the ones that are gonna, encourage you to, to consider to going to activities on campus and just provide information on all of that. So they're really kind of that great connection because they're right there. They've been through it. We hire a lot of international students as well on our staff that you can see, and they just provide just an extra bit of sometimes it's finding someone from your home country and that you can connect with that way. But they've been through the experience that you're all considering, and so they can give you some of that information on what it's like and things that will help you navigate. Some of the other people that are in that picture that are in the dark colored shirts, there are hall directors. Each of our building has a hall director that lives in the building and is a supervisor for those RA staff members. And they're kind of that next connection point. So if you can't get connected with an RA, that you can get connected with your hall director who can help support you. And so whether you're having issues in the building or something's going on in your room, you've got a leaky sink, and you can't get connected with your RA, then you can connect with your hall director, who's there to, do additional programming, support their staff, and really, be that connection point for you while you're here on campus. So we encourage you when you're here on campus to really take advantage of all of the resources and activities that are going on. You're living here, so it's really easy to go to an event taking place at 8 o'clock at night because it's just across the way, and so it's kind of easy to get to different things. And so our staff is really going to encourage you to really do that and not just come here and stay in your room. We want you to take advantage of everything that's going on across campus as well as within our residence halls. So lots of opportunities there, and something that you don't have access to when you're living off campus. So you're in an apartment and you don't have access to these kinds of people who can help and support you as you're kind of starting out your journey here at SEMO. So let's talk a little bit briefly, just really briefly, about some of our residence halls and just some amenities so that you can kind of get an idea. I'm going to direct you to our website for sure, to the SEMO website, and then look for residence life or housing, residence halls. Any of that will get you to our pages, but that's going to give you a lot more information than I'm going to provide you today. So you can take a look at every single one of our residence halls and what it looks like and what we provide. So as you're kind of thinking about where you might like to live, that information is out there. So, but really briefly, we offer a couple of different styles of halls here on our campus. The first is community style, and that's where everyone living on the floor is the same gender. They're sharing the restroom facilities down the hallway. You've got your student room that you might be sharing with a roommate, or you might have a single room that doesn't have a roommate living with you. But everybody on that floor is going to share those bathrooms down the hallway. And all of our buildings are co-ed, so you will have men and women living together in the buildings, but in a community style facility, you will not have the opposite gender living on the floor with you. You can see a little bit about the furniture that we offer in the buildings and kind of what they come with, and then we have sinks and all of that in rooms, so easily accessible to a lot of things that you might need access to quickly within your rooms there. The other style that we have here on our campus is suite style, and that's where two student bedrooms basically connect by a bathroom. So they have their own bathroom within those two rooms that they share. And in that case, the floors could be co-ed floors, but those suites, those two bedrooms with the bathroom, will be one single gender. So you may have men and women living together on the same floor, but they won't be living together in those suites since they're sharing the bathroom. Similar furniture that's offered in these facilities, sinks that are located, in the room or that shared bathroom area. The two big differences between these styles of buildings, I'll say, we do have custodial services and they make sure that all of our common areas are clean. And in community style, that means they also clean the bathrooms and the shower rooms. But in suite style facilities, that's your responsibility. So if you were to live in a building with those two rooms connecting the bathrooms, you have the responsibility for cleaning the bathroom, and then providing toilet paper and all of that. So if that's something that you'd rather not, have to worry about, that you'd rather somebody else take care of, then and be sure to check that community style facilities out, because that might be an option for you. And we do have first year students living all over our campus, in all of our buildings, and international students really in all of our buildings as well. So some other amenities in the halls that you can kind of think about. All of our beds, have extra long twins. So you saw the furniture that they come with beds and desks and dressers and closets or wardrobes. So beds are extra long twin size. So as you're kind of thinking about that, we do have laundry facilities in all of our buildings. Laundry is built into your room rent, so you don't need extra money or tokens or a card or anything to make those machines run. You just need laundry detergent, and then you select the cycle as you're doing your laundry that way. So one less thing to worry about that. You don't have to take it somewhere else, and you don't need quarters or anything like that to make it run. You have access to internet and throughout the buildings in your rooms and lounges and all of that. We do have kitchens. We have community kitchens available in all of our buildings. I will say all of the students who live on campus are required to have meal plans. We have 4 different types of meal plans available for students, but we also provide kitchens in case you'd like to make something, you have a craving for something from home and you would like to make it, you can do that. We do offer basic cooking supplies available for students. We have customer service desks as well that are staffed by the resident assistants. And we get mail and package delivery there, and we can then manage like any questions, lockouts, resources, and all of that. So you'll pick up mail and your packages from the building where you live. You don't need to go to a central location on campus in order to get that. We also have study rooms and lounges and ice machines and vending machines and all the things that you could probably think about, that you would probably want to have on campus, just outside your door, which is very handy. And then finally, just some suggested items. We have a much longer list on our website. I know you're coming from a long distance, and so you're probably going to bring very little with you, but just some things to think about that you might want to, purchase, or identify from a friend or something like that as you're getting here. Some different things that you might need, within your room in order to make things a little more comfortable. So you can bring mini refrigerators. We also rent them from our office. So if that's something that you'd like, you can just get connected with us. Students are welcome to have one microwave in their room. And then just anything else in your room that you think that you would need, obviously bedding, bath items, laundry items, those kinds of things, anything else that reminds you of home, is definitely something. We want you to make sure that you're making your room, a space that is comfortable for you and somewhere that, that you enjoy being as well. So, but there's a much longer list and much more information on our website. So, so you can definitely check that out. So, so you're not missing anything kind of as you're thinking about kind of arriving here. So, I'm gonna stop sharing now, because I think we wanted to leave a few minutes here to answer any questions that people might have related to on or off campus living.
Kendra, could you speak a little too about, and I know the campus residency is 2 years, but what about after 1 year and I've made really good grades, what can happen?
Yes, yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Brooke. So after 1 year, we do have a second year residency release option for students. So if you've taken 30 credit hours in your first year here, and then achieved a 3.25 GPA, you would be eligible to move off campus for that second year. So that would be a release option for you as well, in addition to turning 21, at some point, in the spring semester or over the summer. So that would be an additional option for release from the housing.
Thank you. This is question and answer time. So if any of you have any questions that we have not said or answered, or go ahead. And the chat room is open if you would rather type something in the chat. I'm watching that. Okay, well, seeing none. That will just close from there, but this video will be this has been recorded and the video will be posted. Dr. Kevin's been handling that with some of our agents and other things. So okay, we've got, please can the link to the housing be shared? Yes, and Ms.
Let
Kendra
me
will get
let me
that.
pull that up here. Should have thought about that. If that should get you there.
And then any scholarships to live on campus? Are there any on-campus housing scholarships, or that was a question that somebody asked?
Yeah, I don't think that there's any with the change in the scholarship model. I
Yeah.
don't believe that there's any specific housing related scholarships. So if there's other scholarships that might be available for someone to just have access to cover any of, like any of their fees.
Yeah, we have very, very competitive pricing for our housing and meal plans compared to other universities. We're very, we're on the lower side of the pricing points, especially when paired with our tuition. And then also our international merit-based scholarships that you are automatically awarded at the time of admissions based on your previous coursework and grades. So along with that, we're a very, very affordable institution, university. And I lived on the campus for 3 years of my life, and I was always but got to visit other campuses for conferences and things. And I thought I was living in the life of luxury at SEMO, because our dorms are just so, so nice. And so, yeah, and it's definitely something to consider. Are you in a kind of a jail cell type room, or are you in a nice bedroom living room area? And we're more of the nice bedroom living room areas for our dormitories. And so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say that, you do, obviously you have your room, but then you have access to all of those other community spaces in the buildings as well that you wouldn't have in an apartment. So you have lounge spaces, you have community kitchens. I mean, it's that opportunity to get out of your room and to meet other people. And that's what it should really all be about, is
Yes.
learn, like getting connected with others, meeting others, and and then being connected with the institution, and so going to events and those activities, and just, you can't beat the convenience of being on campus. Like, it's just like we're right here, and so activities might be taking place in your building, or or maybe just across campus, which is like a 5 or 7 minute walk. So it's and we do have shuttles, so that helps you to get around campus as well. So
Yes.
so yeah.
And I will say the fees for the meal plan and for the housing are all added to your student account, and so that's very, very helpful whenever you can set up a payment plan, and you can pay by month that way a certain amount. And or some of you may be getting loans from your home country bank, and sometimes those banks want to see the full student account amount for that loan. That's very helpful to be able to consolidate all of your housing and meals with your tuition. Whereas if you live off campus, that's kind of hard to justify that for your loans in your home countries. And so That's definitely something to think about when you're thinking financially and how you're wanting to plan how you're going to make your payments every month. And so, yeah, we do have a question in the chat. Is it compulsory you pay the deposit for the housing, or the said amount can be added to the tuition fees?
We do have a waiver, well, it's not a waiver, a deferral option for students. So as you're selecting that or completing your housing contract, if you were to select that you would like to request a deferral, which would basically defer that $150 then to your first university bill, we can do that. So that is an option for you to select on that. And then that ensures that your housing contract gets completed much faster versus having to wait to pay that once you get here, which can kind of then delay your housing assignment and all of that. So that is an option to select that deposit deferral as you're completing that housing contract.
Okay, any other questions? All right. Well, as I mentioned earlier, be on the lookout. Probably late March, we're still developing some things with our online pre-arrival orientation, and that is where you will see a lot more about living on campus and some resources for living off campus. So once I get my greetings email, that's what I call it. The greetings email has everything you ever need to know. But once that's put together and we're able to put the link to the online orientation in there, you'll have a lot more resources. But as Kendra said, that living on campus link to our website has also everything you need to know right now. And so, yeah, but lots and lots of resources on our website for everything. So just keep watching though for that big email, and we'll get everything sent to you. But right now, especially if you're attending in August, we're definitely still early yet. We're on the international student timeline of things, so plenty of time still remaining for those housing contracts and for you to kind of make your decisions and things like that. So all right. Well, thank you for joining us today. And thank you so much, Kendra. Some emails you may want to know if you've got general questions, DSO at SEMO.edu. DSO stands for Designated School Official. That's our legal side of things, but we're also the side that helps you with all of the getting you acclimated to campus and answering all of your questions in the international office. But also Residence Life at SEMO.edu is a good email for any of those meal plan and housing questions you may have. So yeah, but other than that, I think that will do it for today. And thank you all so much for joining us.
Great.
Bye
Thanks,
bye.
everybody.